We are very much looking forward to any opening of any of the borders because Hong Kong has only a domestic economy and we can't rely solely on staycations. We're opening the Harry Hotel in Q4 of this year, I hope. And it's strange parallel to the first hotel we opened, the Holiday Inn Golden Mile, when Hong Kong was going through a very difficult period in the late 60s, when its future was uncertain. And we're facing a strange parallel right now. And I'm looking forward to opening in a better environment and looking forward to a better 2021.
Now, the Harilela Hotels has a long history in Hong Kong, dating back to 1959. And as you mentioned, you guys have been through a lot of crises, if you will. The SARS outbreak back in 2003. We've seen the global financial crisis. Also, more recently, there's been protests in this town for over a year now. How have you guys been navigating that? And with countries issuing safety warnings about coming to Hong Kong, how does that bode for the city?
Well, it's been very difficult. We've had 18 months of a very difficult tourism industry. A lot of people, as you say, a lot of countries have issued travel bans. A lot of people are stopping traveling to Hong Kong. We've seen our occupancies dip from last summer. We can only hope for some travel bans and blue skies ahead.
Aaron, on that though, I mean, what is your impression of the impact that the national security bill is having on your industry? Because as Emily pointed out, I mean, there were concerns when we had protests in the city, which hopefully this will crack down on those protests. But there are also concerns from tourists abroad about traveling to the city now. I mean, we've heard warnings from the U.S., from Australia and others. How concerning is this?
Yeah, I think Hong Kong has been the football in between China and America, the two great powers that are battling out on so many different fronts. And Hong Kong has just been the football in between. We're looking at the manufacturers, which is a small part of our industry here in Hong Kong, now have to label their goods made in China rather than made in Hong Kong, when that supply chain logistic is actually very complicated. In terms of tourism, we are seeing a little bit of a weakening of people wanting to come here, less interest. I think it is a very new bill. We'll just have to see if we can get further clarity on it and how it'll play out. I will say, though, that most countries do have a national security bill formed in they're termed in different words, but they all do the same thing, which is to protect national security. I think with our particular one, we're entitled to have it. It's our obligation under the basic law to actually put one into place, but we just have to tighten up those parts that are not as clear as they can be.
I can see from your press release, you remain optimistic. You're saying that I believe that Hong Kong will bounce back. We have foundations that you just can't take away. Can you give us an idea in terms of what you expect in terms of a recovery? Will it be V-shaped, W-shaped, or even K-shaped?
I think it's going to be, certainly for my industry, U-shaped, actually, because those foundations that I was talking about is what I referred to earlier. A common law jurisdiction, independence of the judiciary. We have our own monetary system. We have a low tax rate. It's a very easy place to do business. But I don't see my industry bouncing back until at least 2022. I mean, we're all talking about the existence and availability of a vaccine readily available to most people. That's when people will be less scared on getting on flights. You have to believe that this virus is going to act like any other virus, which means it doesn't want to kill itself, so it doesn't kill its host. So you hope the fatality rate is going to drop significantly as this virus becomes more contagious and more infectious, but less fatal.